Okay, let's get started. I'm feeling it. I know Ron said he wanted to stop by too. I hope he makes it. So glad he's back. Okay. Parasoul. Here's the thing about Skullgirls. Probably going to be reiterating the obvious here, but every character's got their gimmick, right? Fortune can go headless, you know. Everybody, band has parries. Everybody's got freaking gimmicks. Parasoul's gimmick is these things. Tears are really cool. They detonate after a certain number of frames. You think I'd know, but you never really let them detonate naturally, so eh. But they do detonate naturally. Tears are created through either shot or through toss. If you detonate a tear, it's got a lot of hit stun on it. Tears are detonated by the normals that have fire on them, and jump medium kick randomly. Mostly they're used for combo tools, like this, or spacing. If I could actually do it, you can kind of see it there. If I was good. If I was any good. Oh, there we go. Yeah! It is still a bit random. Jump heavy kick floats, but it doesn't det tears like that. Shot only on hit? Shot still creates the tear on whiff. You think I'd have chat open or something so that when I put this on YouTube people can see, but we're not that professional here. Yeah, so that's kind of our gimmick. That's very, very basic breakdown. I'll get more into it when we get to the special moves. But for now, let's start with her general game plan before we get into normals or anything fancy. And here's the fun part about Parasoul's game plan. She doesn't actually have one. Parasoul's a lot like Fuko in the fact that she does everything. Basically, if you want to play a zoning Parasoul, you can totally do that. It's totally viable. If you want to play a rushdown Parasoul by abusing plus frames and using your 50-50s, you could totally do that. And if you want to play spacing neutrally, keep away Parasoul, you can do that too. A good Parasoul will switch between them depending on matchup or life lead. For example, if I'm fighting Ophelia, I'm playing that spacing game. I want to keep her out. However, when I'm fighting Headless, I'm in there. I don't want to be far away from Headless. Yeah, so you need to be able to switch. Kind of the character that's most like a Shoto from Street Fighter. And the fact that she has a little bit of everything, jack of all trades, you know. That's kind of what she's got going for her. Her biggest strengths, spacing. She's got huge range on all of her normals, and they're all super disjointed. It's really, really hard to outspace a Parasoul. Already said she had really, really variable playstyle. You can change how you're playing in a moment's notice, and it's really, really jarring. Good at everything, and everything she does is safe. Literally everything she does is safe. There should not be a moment. If you're running in a team, there should not be a moment where you can be punished for something. Which is how I personally play. But, yeah, she's got a special that's +2 on block. Because she does. So, super, super safe always. Her biggest weaknesses, she loses really, really hard to IAD characters once they get in. Anything inside of this crouching medium punch range is really, really hard for her to deal with. And the fact that, because she's a charge character, you're usually holding down back. Oh man, I didn't see you followed, but thank you so much for the follow. I actually already have it open because I'm good. Cheshire Swift, thank you for the follow. So because you're holding down back to charge, so you can either shot or pillar, depending on what you need, it means that you're really, really easily opened up by grabs or overheads. And characters that go overhead a lot, like IAD characters, they're not a fun time. When she's up close, she doesn't have a 6-frame normal. Her fastest normal is 7 frames. That means that there are some things that Parasoul just can't punish that every other character can. At least without PBGC. So that is something you have to worry about. She kind of loses to push block. When you're doing a string, doing this all in one go because we're professional here. Where's the block option? when you're doing a string... Wow, that took her forever. Why is she not push blocking there? There we go. So, when you're doing a block string, and you want to make it safe with shot, if you get pushed back, it's really, really, really easy to whiff punish you. That's something you definitely have to worry about, and as much as I say that she's safe in everything she does, if you throw out a shot at the end of every string, you're asking to get punished. So that's a thing. Also, her damage is awful. She gets 8.5 off of a counter hit in the corner without an assist. The characters get 8.5. Peacock gets 8.5 mid-screen. Parasoul needs it to be in a corner with a counter hit. That does change with assists. She can get a lot of damage with assists. She gets like 8k mid-screen with A-Train. She gets more with Butcher's Blade. There are a few assists that really do upper damage, but solo, that's the thing. Let's talk about her movement, because her movement's freaking weird, right? Her walk cycle is not even. It's weirdly strided, I guess is the way to put it. Uneven strides. It is weird to get used to, but it's actually really nice in her spacing game. Because her biggest stride is the first stride, right? And then it goes slower. Which means that when you're playing a spacing game and you want to walk back, you get your biggest step first, and your slower step means that you still might be in range for some kind of normal. It is actually really nice, as weird as it is to get used to. But even then, you don't even walk that often. So, it's not too big of a deal if you can't get used to it. But it is definitely the weirdest walk in the game. Her dash is so fast and goes so far. It is the best dash in the game, easily. Her back dash doesn't go as far, but it's still a really good dash. Honestly, it's tied for her best neutral tool, because from this range, you have to worry about dash and grab, you have to worry about dash and low, you can, you know, dash and overhead, that's slower, but when you're at this range, you're not safe. Every other character you're safe, and even though she's outside of, like, her longest normals, not that one, but, you know, she will tag you. And when she max ranges this stuff, it gets scary, really, how big her reach is compared to what it even looks like at first glance. Her dash is so insanely good. I cannot say enough how important her dash is. Her jump is just kind of a jump. But something that is worth pointing out is that her super jump actually goes higher than average. She's the only character in the game that has a different super jump height. Everyone else has the same super jump height. So let's just show that real quick. You can probably see there. She goes a little bit higher. Maybe I'm crazy, but if the wikis aren't lying to me, that is the thing. Yeah, so her mobility is actually really, really, really nice. A lot of people will look at her and say, yeah, it does make up for the notable number. A lot of people look at Parasoul and say that her mobility kind of sucks because she doesn't have an air dash and she doesn't have a double jump. But with her super jump being so high, having access to all the floats that she does, and just in general her dash, she has a ton of mobility options. She's definitely not a slouch in that regard. So that's her movement. That's her general game plan, her movement, etc. Oh my god, they're spicy. Let's get into some normals. Start with Standing Light Punch. Standing Light Punch is interesting. And the reason Standing Light Punch is interesting is because on block, it's, what am I eating? It's a sriracha chicken instant noodles because I had 50 cents at the store and I wanted dinner. Actually 50 cents, it's ridiculous. Okay, Standing Light Punch. Super, super interesting. It's -6 on block. However, it's -9 on hit. It is actually safer for them to block this move than it is to get hit by this move. Raw. Obviously, you cancel it to something else, but I'll get there, Swagger. I'm going through a lot here, trust me. Yeah, so, because it's so minus on hit, it's actually really nice, because it means that you can cancel immediately into her 50-50 options, and it is a reset. But you do want to be aware that you don't want to hit with it raw. If you're going to do that, you want to cancel it into something else. Yeah. It's 7 frame startup. It is also tied for her longest range poke. Tied to sweep. Yeah, so that's cool. Mostly used for spacing and combos. Also cool for ticks. Like I said, you can do the low, you can do the overhead. And if you want to get gimmicky, you can do light punch into toss. But that is a gimmick. Yeah, so that's kind of how you use your light punch, mostly for resets and for spacing. Standing medium punch detonates tears, which is really, really nice. Starts up in 10 frames, which is pretty quick. I mean, not really, but kind of. It's mostly used as a poke, and it's mostly used as a poke in combination with tears. This will stuff IADs from where she's standing, just because of tier det range. If you want to keep Ophelia out, or you want to keep anyone out, medium punch to detonate tears is really, really nice. And especially because if I turn on hitboxes, the entire umbrella, you can kind of see it. The entire umbrella goes red. That means that even if the tier doesn't hit, she still might get hit in comparison to... Oh, maybe I like... That's a lot shorter, though, than this is. Okay. So yeah, mostly used for spacing. Also used in combos. If you don't want to keep a tier around at the end of your combo, like you're going to combo into a standing heavy kick, and you don't want the tier to det on them, then you can do a medium punch before the heavy kick to detonate the tier. I'll get into that later. That's a little bit crazy for now, but know that it's mostly a spacing tool. Standing heavy punch. It used to be nothing really special. Now it is. You could do things like let me just make sure I have a save. You can do things like this. One of those crossed up. Because Parasoul. You know. It does hit behind her slightly. It restands now. That's more recent, which lets you do combos that you couldn't do otherwise. Get into those later as well. Starts up on 10 frames. No, sorry, 19 frames. 10 frames would be crazy. Mostly used for incoming setups and combos, but it does restand. Keep that in mind. It's a cross under because Parasoul needs it, obviously. Now on to some kicks. Standing light kick. Hits twice, which is nice. It's -5, which is safe. Doesn't matter too much because you have shot, but starts up at 8 frames, so I do not recommend this for a punish of any kind. It's a combo tool, but otherwise you kind of have better options for everything else. Standing medium kick. Hits twice as well. First hits neutral and block, second hits -4. Also a combo tool. You use it in combos to not drop OTG. Like this. Just gonna call Penny Joel now. It's also used at lower Undizzy to do damage. That'll do more damage, but at higher Undizzies, crouching medium kick's gonna do more damage due to scaling. Yeah, mostly it's a combo tool. You're never really gonna just throw it out. Standing heavy kick is a button that is super, super underused. Even I underuse it, like, way, way too much. In terms of block strings, there are some combos that, when you're hitting them on block, if they're matching a DP assist, the assist will actually come out in between your moves while they're blocking, and the DP will punish you. Standing heavy kick is great to stop that. It starts up fast enough that it is a true block string, and they can't DP out. It gives you some... other than that, it's mostly used in the corner. Combos like this, where you use it for the wall bounce to keep going with your combo. You can end combos. I'll do a really short one. Into that, so that you can get left rights. Usually used in the corner for wall bounces. Yeah. Damage on it is good. Resets off of it are good, but it is a corner tool mostly. Go back to mid-screen. Talk about Crouching Light Punch. Crouching Light Punch. This is +4 on block. It's one of her only 2 normals that are plus on block because Parasoul. It's not too big of a deal because she has shot. Wow, that's saucy. But it is important to keep in mind. It's good for tick throws, tick anything really. Use it in the corner to combo. However, the range on it, it's not awful, but when you compare it to things like any of her umbrella normals, it's not good. I mean, for a Crouching Light Punch, it's got good range, but compared to everything else, it's not good. Yeah. Crouching Medium Punch, I cannot express to you guys how good this button is. This button wins games on its own. Basically, 11 frame startup, it's only -7 on block, it's fine when you're spaced this far out. It's got insanely good range. It's one of her... So her 3 longest range normals are Standing Light Punch, Sweep, and Crouching Medium Punch. And Crouching Medium Punch is the only one that detonates tiers. That's really, really important. Watch me fight any Philly and you can see how this button wins games on its own. When you're pressuring anything, like especially in the corner, you're around this range, it's so easy to confirm into a combo when you're just doing Crouching Medium Punch into shot. That will also just win you everything. It's so easy to confirm anything. Easy pressure, easy conversions. From the blue fire distance, it stuffs any IADs that they try to do. It's one of her best anti-airs. It just doesn't work close up. It lowers her hurt box slightly. It Karas her backwards if you want to do shot shenanigans. Yeah, it's her best button in neutral. It really is. It's a really, really underutilized button. Yeah, basically, if you're playing Parasoul and you don't use Crouching Medium Punch, go on to Quick Match and just use it always, and just tell me how it goes because it's gonna go well for you. Also note that the flames out of it are projectiles. Yeah. Okay, Crouching Heavy Punch. 16 frame startup. It's -15. Doesn't matter. You have shot. It's her launcher. It's her only launch. Well, one of 2 launchers. This one's a ground bounce. It moves her forward slightly, so you can do things like this. You're gonna have to give me a few tries because this is inconsistent for me. So that's actually same side. I dashed under him. Yeah, that's same side, and it is convertible if you neutral don't. It's kind of borked, but you know, it exists. It also combos in the corner great with the tiers. So, for example, if you're doing a combo like this, you can combo with Crouching Heavy Punch, toss a tier, and still have enough hit stun to keep going. Hey, what's going on? So yeah, I mean, it's really a launcher. It's not a very good anti-air because it's so slow. You have better options. Crouching Medium Punch being one of them. But yeah, it does move her forward slightly. It's not her best Kara move, but it is one. Yeah, Crouching Light Kick, 8 frames of startup. Again, not her fastest normal, but it is her normal combo starter. It is a pretty good low that has pretty good range because of how long Parasoul's legs are. It's also +1 on block. It's her only other normal that's plus on block, and it's really not a lot compared to Crouching Light Punch. I mean, it's your combo starter. It's your low reset tool. Sometimes. Get into that later. Yeah, I mean, it's your Crouching Light Kick. It's like every other character's Crouching Light Kick. You do Crouching Light Kick to start combos. Crouching Medium Kick. My select button is sticky. Mostly used for combo extensions. It's got great damage on it. When you're at max undizzy, it is more damage than doing 2 medium kicks. So you'll see me a lot when I'm doing combos, do stuff like this. use crouching medium kicks to keep going. No, don't count my yes! I don't know how to talk. It's also good, great damage for OTG pickup. It's usually going to be your max damage from an OTG pickup. It's not as consistent as like standing light kick or something, which is kind of what I use just because online, but really you should be using that to pick up from OTG. Look, I freaking think I know how to talk. You're crazy. Crouching heavy kick is her other like god neutral button. And one thing I'm going to talk about real quick. Sweeps in general in Skullgirls are really, really underutilized. Nobody really sweeps in this game, and I don't know why. A lot of them have really long range. And if you have a safe special, there's no reason not to, really. Like Big Band sweep into Light Brass is really, really good. Yeah, you know. Basically, it moves her forward super far. It's her better Kara forward. You can do some crazy reset left-right shenanigans with, like, sweep into detonate. What's Parasoul's cup size again? I don't know these things. Bella sweep into run stop. Yeah, that's good. Also high line shot. But yeah, her sweep just, it goes forward super far. You can use it in mix-ups. If they're not going to push block you, a lot of people do things like this for a mix-up. You can kind of mix that up with sweep instead. There's no reason to keep going. I mean, it's not awful. Usually you will get push blocked. But even if you do get push blocked away, sweep might still be in range, and you can still make it safe. It's really, really good for block strings. Again, I can't really stress how good it is. I could talk about both this and Crouching Medium Punch for years, and I still couldn't explain how great they are for utility. But, you know, also, when you're doing corner combos, it's usually max damage. Sweep into shot. Keep going. Jumping moves. Here's where Parasouls get all happy, because Parasoul's air buttons, delicious. Jump Light Punch is, I'm gonna be honest, it's really good. Goes down at an angle, but I think Parasouls kind of overuse it, to be honest. So it's really good if you imagine it more like a jump in, like it's an air to ground button. And it's not bad for anti-airs, but she actually does have better options. You can also use it mostly in the air to like buffer other normals, like I can't do it because she's just kind of sat on the ground, but do like light punch into heavy punch, and if the light punch hits, then the heavy punch will come out. It's pretty nice. It's a good safe way to buffer normals. Hey, I did it. It's also really good to det tiers in neutral, but I'll get to that later. Jump Medium Punch is another button that I really think it's not a button that Parasouls use enough. Parasoul's buttons all go downwards mostly. This goes down, that kind of goes down. That's just sideways. This is the only button that goes upwards. It's a pretty good air-to-air. It's how you win games against Painwheel mostly. Basically, if Jump Light Punch is going to whiff where they are in the air, you should be using Jump Medium Punch instead. It also dets tiers. Better against IADs because it goes upwards at that angle. Again, get to that kind of later. Otherwise, it's used as a combo tool. And the final, kind of most important use is it's the basis of a reset game. The way Parasoul resets work is usually an air button into Medium Punch to knock them up. And then you can, you know, grab, you can burst bait. Even if you do, like, all four, you're still doing the Medium Punch at the end. It's how she sets up a lot of her reset game. In the corner, you can get some cool burst baits by deading the tier. So it's a really, really important button. But using it in neutral is also very, very viable. Jump Heavy Punch is kind of deceptively bad. Like, it's a great normal, but not by itself. It's kind of like Beowulf's Jump Heavy Punch. As soon as, if you start throwing out, it's got great range. And it's a great jump in because of the hit stun on it. But if you start throwing it out a lot, you're just asking to be land cancel punished, and you're going to eat a combo for it. It's not really safe. Really easy to land cancel. If you're going to use Jump Heavy Punch, you should buffer it from another normal. Whether it's Jump Medium Punch, or Jump Light Punch, or Jump Light Kick, or whatever. You don't want to throw it out raw. Also, great range with Tear Toss, but again, later. Getting ahead of myself. My advice for this move, use it, don't overuse it. It's good, it's not that good. Now, Jump Light Kick is, I think, deceptively good. It's a great air-to-air. It's got a great hitbox. When you're fighting anyone and you want to hit him out of the air, again, Jump Light Punch goes down. Jump Medium Punch might be too slow. This is the button you're going to be looking for. And just even when you're fighting people like round start, just jump forward, Jump Light Kick, Jump Heavy Punch will get you so many combos. It's ridiculous. It's also faster than Jump Light Punch. Jump Light Punch starts up in 8 frames. Jump Light Kick starts up in 7 frames. So, again, if you want to go for an air-to-air, Jump Light Kick is better. Use it. Abuse the heck out of it. It's great, as long as they're not on the ground. And then Jump Light Punch is a better option. Jump Medium Kick. Jump Medium Kick is probably her most interesting air normal. It's her only non-fire normal that's Tears. Starts up in 14 frames. Could I turn the hitboxes? Yes. Let's just do the simple ones for now. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so Jump Medium Kick is super interesting. Basically, you're never using it raw in neutral, but you are using it a lot for her reset game. The floats give you a ton of left-rights that they're not really hard to see coming, but it starts giving you different vortexes. So that'd be same side. It's not too tricky. It gets hilarious with center stage assist because you can't actually see Parasoul while she's doing that. That's really funny. It's definitely interesting. Also, to note, you can detonate, because you detonate Tears with it and it floats, super jump into a tier will pop you up a little bit. And if they're sitting full screen, and I don't miss super jumps, that'll get you across the screen pretty fast. And it's not like you can really anti-air her, because she might just smack you on the way down. It's kind of terrifying when she's coming at you like that. Not usually the float that I use because it takes setup, and you don't always have time for that. But it is still a good float, and it's still definitely usable. Also, it crosses up. Hold on. There you go. That's kind of funny. Jump Heavy Kick is another normal that's like really good. When you have Tears on the other person and you want to pressure them, Jump Heavy Kick is really nice. Ton of blocks done, easy conversions. It's pretty great. It's also a pretty good jump in. It's not as good as some of her other normals, but it is definitely not bad. When you're comboing, it restands without OTG on lights, which is cool. On heavy, you do have to use OTG to pick up with it, but hey, whatever. Also to note that the tier detonation pops people up. You can get really easy side switch combos with that. It's also her other float normal, and it's the one that I use normally. Just because it doesn't take too much startup, and then you're not holding a button on your way down. They both have pros and cons. I just normally stick with this one. Let's get into command normals. Forward Light Punch is one of 2 standing overheads. It starts up in 20 frames. It's basically unreactable, let's be honest. It's not. It's totally reactable, but it is hard to react to. It's not Pain Wheel Crouching Hard Punch unreactable levels, let's be honest. It's also +1 on block, which is interesting. It's your fastest grounded overhead. Emphasis on grounded overhead. Get to that in a second, too. When you're doing some kind of mix-up, most of the time you'll see Parasouls do like this. Oh, actually, most of the time you'll see them do this. Which is the overhead low, And it's kind of the new player killer because they have to block 2 different directions. Also to note that you can do overhead to overhead if you ever condition someone to block low. But it is there for block mix-ups. It's there for resets. If you do, something to keep in mind, if you do use forward light punch as a reset option, your reset is automatically mashable. And you're gonna get, you could get SSJ, you could get beat extended, you could get Big Band level 3, and I'm using Big Band as an example for a reason, because gosh dang, I don't think I've ever seen one block. Yeah, basically, it's your reset tool. It is mashable, you have to be careful, but it's a fast grounded overhead. Forward medium punch is standing low, which is kind of rare. The only other characters I can think of that have them are Valentine and Beowulf. I don't actually know if doubles is a grounded low. It's the same light kick, but I've never seen anyone use it over crouching light kick. It also detonates tears, which is great for conversions like this. If you get your dash. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I can do this. I believe. There we go. So, cool conversions off that. It's good for resets, since it's standing. But when you're trying to... There's also times where crouching medium kick is a better option. Just because crouching medium kick is faster. I wouldn't reset with crouching medium kick. You totally could. I usually reset with forward medium punch. But like on block mix-ups, after you hit them with the normal and then you want to go low, whether we're talking about like ticks or we're talking about, you know, after a forward light punch, crouching medium kick is usually better just because it's faster. But for raw resets, the standing makes it a lot trickier. Back heavy kick is a ground bounce. It starts off at 22 frames, it's minus 10. Normally you combo with it with like egret call, and then you pick up. If you're using it raw, don't cancel into egret, that's minus. Cancel it into shot instead, it's still comboable. I dropped it, but there is optimal combos off of raw back heavy kicks, and they definitely start with shot. So yeah, that's the thing. When I say raw, I don't mean like run up back heavy kick, but doing it like on a block mix up. That's where you confirm with shot. Yeah, if you hit them higher up in the air, the higher up in the air you hit them, the more they're gonna bounce. Let me see if I can think of an example. Shoot. I had a raw tag combo. I don't remember what it is anymore. But I kind of used that. Yeah, it's not too big of a deal, but it is definitely a thing. Yeah, so if you're going to use it for a mix-up, it's mostly from doing a 50-50 between sweep and back heavy kick on block. Otherwise, use forward light punch. Or the other one that I'm going to get to in a second. Next normal is Spiral Flare. This normal is godlike. Legitimately godlike. It only hits... It's mostly used to hit behind her. Used for cross-up resets like this. It's great. Okay, yeah, that is something I want to talk about, back heavy kick. Back heavy kick, you know squiggly jump heavy punch? Back heavy kick is a really good anti-air versus that since it ground bounces her. So it's definitely usable as an anti-air. It's not a good one, but it's usable. Yeah, so Spiral Flare hits behind her. It also slightly hits in front of her, so you can make it... I've never done it on a light, but I have played against bands where, like, I try to go for, like, a jump light punch Spiral Flare crossover, and the Spiral Flare hits same side because I don't super jump or whatever. And it's really strange when that happens, but, you know. But it is mostly used behind her. The other... So it's mostly used for resets and for scramble situations where you know they're gonna... Like, you're playing leapfrog with each other and you're like, okay, I know what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna go backwards. The other use that it has, and I think the most important use, is fast falls. Fast falls are broken, but I'm gonna get into those later too. I keep referencing things. This is gonna go full circle, I swear. But it's one of 2 fast falls that she has. And it's my favorite one. Her other normal, command normal in the air is the Stomp. The Stomp is also godlike. It's kind of deceptively good, again. Interesting things about Stomps, it's tied for her fastest air normal. It's also 7 frames, so her 2 fastest 7-frame normals in the air are Jump Light Kick and Down Medium Kick. That means that if you want to do a fast normal against someone standing on the ground, instead of doing Jump Light Punch or Jump Heavy Punch, you should do the Stomp instead. Now, Stomp, when you're solo Parasoul, mid-screen, it's not... You stomp and that's it. That's the most you can get off of it. It crosses up. Yay. Freaking yay. However, in the corner, when you're solo Parasoul, you can get it to combo in specific things. You still can't do it like here. That's not going to combo. But you can do stuff like this. If I can actually do it right. You can do like a stomp. Wait, hold on. I got it. It's much easier to show than it is to explain. That'll combo. So there's like an overhead. Shoutouts to Launch Out for showing me that one. However, the assist gets so much better with an assist. Because the assist is a 7... With assist, it's a 7-frame instant overhead that she has access to. That's crazy. It's 100% unreactable. You set him down for Oki. You miss your super button because you fat finger it. It's so good. It really is. Also interesting, it chains into any other air normal, including itself. If you wanted to, you could do this. It just stomp them forever. I actually don't know how many you can get. I think 2 is it. There's gold burst setups with that. It's kind of fun. She has air strings like this that you can do because you're doing a medium into the down medium kick, which means you can go back into the light. It's got some fun stuff with it, but mostly it's used as a mix-up tool. And a crazy mix-up tool at that. Okay, let's get to some of the fun stuff. Her ground the English, I'm sorry. The swag double snap. I don't actually know how to do it. Fun fact about me. I can't do that double snap. I never got it down. I do a really damaging one instead. The ground grab is meh. I mean, it's nothing special, really. The way you convert off for ground grab is with either Eager Call, which you can do on either side, sometimes, or Baikai. Oh yeah, I forgot about forward heavy punch. I'm a god. Thank you for reminding me. I totally would have missed that. Forward heavy punch does a ton of damage. Early on in your combos, it's going to do more damage. Max Undizzy, it's going to do the same damage as 2 heavy punches. Like, actually the same damage. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it. It's also her only normal that combos into Snipe. None of her other normals by itself combos into Sniper. Only forward heavy punch. I have this written down in my notes. I don't know how I skipped it. It is tricky to combo off of if you want to start doing some of the rights with it. But it is doable charge buffering, which I'll also get to later. When we get to some of her special moves. Yeah, air or ground grab. Yeah, it's meh. Convert with one of the 2 eagers. Oh, the other thing. Let me go back to forward heavy punch real quick. Standing heavy punch detonates tears. Forward heavy punch does not. They both have their ups and downs. Okay, her air grab is the best air grab in the game. Easily. Second best is Eliza. Possibly tied for best. But Parasoul's air grab is absolutely just dumb. If you've ever seen someone just vortexed into Parasoul's hands because she air grabbed. Oh, it's so good. Beto Salem, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, so her air grab, ridiculous. There's a bajillion and one ways to convert off of it. You can do just crouch light kick, or stand light kick, crouch heavy punch. You can just do, I like the M toss into pick up with dash. You can do things like this. Ton of ways to convert off of it. Do what you like. Yeah. But definitely don't be afraid to air grab as an air-to-air. The only button I found that consistently beats out Parasoul's air grab is Squiggly's jump light kick. Okay, let's talk about some special moves. Yeah! First thing's L-Shot. L-Shot is ridiculous. L-Shot is her special that is +2 on block, which means that no matter what you do, you're going to be safe. It's what you cancel a lot of your spacing tools into. It allows for some easy conversions. Yeah, you know. Use it sparingly, because like I said earlier, if they push block you into... So if you're doing, like, this string, and they're blocking it, it's pretty easy for them to push block you and then whiff punish the tier. It's happened to me so many times until I just forced it out of my brain not to do it after a push block. Or to tier early, one of the two. But definitely, it is a really, really good normal. Special, whatever. Also great for zoning. Not her fastest projectile, but it's still a projectile that you can throw out and shoot a whole bunch of times. Also, fun fact, if the tier's flying, you can't shoot another one. You have to wait for the tier to stop before you can fight her another one. Okay, M tier is -2 on block. You won't really be using it on block, though, because it's not L-Shot. When you're zoning, it's mostly used to catch people approaching from the air. That's kind of one of its only two uses. The other use being when you're doing a combo. Do M tier into sniper. The tier will pop them up, and then you get a burst bait. Only works if you have OTG. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that after H tier. H tier is -7 on block, but again, you won't be using it on block. It's her best zoning tool. Goes really fast. You can just do a ton of them. You can lock them down. You even saw that one of them bursted. It's kind of ridiculous. It's her fastest tier. You can use it to end combos if you like miss a dash or something. It's like if you're doing this and you've like didn't dash and they're out of range, you can H shot into snipe. It's not a big deal. You don't get the pop up, but whatever. Also, to note that tiers also detonate other tiers. So if you want to do some kind of confirm, like there are corner combos, I should be able to do this first try. It's not hard. So here I'll use another T to detonate that, and then keep the combo going. It's not actually the optimal lights, but whatever. Yeah, that's it for her tiers. Mostly you're using them to zone, using light for plus frames on block. Fireballer things. Okay, now into egrets. Egrets have a global cooldown, kind of. You can only have one egret on the screen at a time, and the amount of time they stay on screen is dependent on what kind of egret you use. So if you use light egret, he stays on screen the longest. Now I can use M egret. He stays on screen for a while. Now I can use Bite Guy if I didn't mistime it. So yeah, let's go over what they do. Light egret is kind of a discount YRC. It cancels the recovery frames of whatever you're doing. So now I cancel my medium punch and I can keep comboing. Whereas I don't think I can do that normally. Nope. Basically use it to recover things. You can get really tricky. You can like combo off of this with it, even though you should use tier. But then you can get really tricky and like cancel the startup of the overhead into a low. That's kind of fun. Once they if you realize they're reacting to like back heavy kick, you can do that. It's kind of gross. You could also eager call him to grab. It's also kind of reactable, but it'll catch people like once or twice. It's not something you can use often. M egret is projectile stopper. You use them against zoning. It's sketch against I'll get to that later when I get to matchups. But to note, it is also the only thing that like stops robo beams. Because normally if you call like an assist, the beam will go through and hit both you and your assist. Emigrate stops the beam entirely and it won't hit you, which is nice. If you're having trouble against zoning, doing Emigrate into snipe is a pretty good way to stop that and get in. Bike Guy! God, I love Bike Guy. Bike Guy's awful. He's really not good. But I love him so much. And when he works extremely well. It's just, there's not many situations that he's really, really good in. It's a hit grab, it'll break armor, and it'll pick him up for a full combo. It's got really, really, really dumb corner carry. You can go corner to corner easily. Just with the Bike Guy. You can also do fun things like this. That'll pick him up out of the snipe, and if you're far enough away, you can convert. It's kind of fun. However, Bike Guy he can be destroyed by tagging him. He doesn't care about projectiles, but if you do tag him with a physical attack, he'll get destroyed. If Parasoul gets hit in the startup of Bike Guy, the Bike Guy won't grab. He'll still fly across the screen though. And also, I didn't bring that up about Emigrate. If Emigrate gets tagged by a physical thing, hey Crusader, if Emigrate gets tagged, he'll also go away, and he won't block projectiles. That's fine because you're normally using a full screen. Okay, let's get into her pillars. Oh my gosh. Okay, light pillar, light flash kick, whatever. Down up motion. Is a detonate. And it's a really good move. Like, really, really good. That combos, if you snipe like a smart person. Gotta use charge buffering. Still not a big deal. It's great for when you're zoning, stick a tier full screen, start detonating, they're expecting another tier. Just great for keeping people out. It's used in combos sometimes. You can do things like this. If I was good at this game. You can combo off that, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to walk back to the corner again. But that's mostly what it's used for. Space control, catch people sleeping while you're zoning. M-Pillar, you're not going to see that often. Sometimes you use it with assist. Like Carpenter's Axe really likes it because this hits low. So like the low overhead is really nice on block. Yeah. You're not going to see it too much outside of that. It does det tiers. All of her DP moves det tiers, technically. Yeah, it's also, fun fact, it's the only way to universally do a combo ender into bikes without using OTG. If you do a pillar into bikes on, like, Big Band, it'll use OTG and you can't do a second one. But if you do Quake, you can do things like this. And that'll work. So that's definitely good to keep in mind. Otherwise, you're not going to see it too often, really. Now, Heavy. Good old Napalm Pillar. Her best defensive option, and it's a good DP. It's speed extend before Big Band was put in the game. It's really, really not safe. Bikes makes it kind of safe, but not really. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, you can use that mid-screen to combo. Yeah, so Bikes isn't really safe after DP. The only way to really make it a safe DP is with assist. Which is nice. It's kind of inconsistently convertible with Bikes. You don't always hit. Yeah, Bikes, I'll get to that later when I actually talk about the Bike Super. But for now, just know that it's not really a safe way to make your DP safe. I mean, it's Napalm Pillar. It's a great DP. The only thing is that there's a giant, giant hole in it. And I'm going to turn on slow motion for this. I think we might be too slow, but that's fine. Oh, yeah, it was too slow. Oh, no. See if you can see it. Top left, there's a huge hole. And if you're playing against a Parasoul, abusing that hole in the pillar is so good. If pillar whiffs, she's just sad and probably dead. IAD characters can do that by just jumping and dashing. Squiggly can do it by like jumping forward and dive kicking. Like every character has a way around it. So you have to be careful about using it too much. Sometimes you get lucky. Like with an assist like this, if they try to jump over, you can get it to autocorrect and they hit them anyway if they try to go over, but it does have a huge gap that you have to be aware of. Otherwise, it is really, really good. Now I'm going to talk about her best special move, which is Tear Toss. Tear Toss is what makes or breaks a Parasoul, in my opinion. It's just her best neutral tool. Each strength of the toss sends them a different distance, light, medium, heavy. If you hold the button down, you can control exactly where it lands when you let go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Get a lot of control with that. The biggest... You can do it up to 3 times. You can do it twice. You can do it, only once if you want to. It's great. The biggest use of it... Question, does Big Man's Brass Knuckle go through Pillar? Yes, it does. Because armor. I don't know why you'd be brassing a Parasoul on Wake Up, but that does work. Normally, they just parry if they think you're going to Pillar. Or grab. Yeah, so what it does is it increases your spacing, mostly. It increases your spacing and it increases your hit stun. So you can... I'm trying to get it good. There we go. So you can see here that the tier detonated. Even though the heavy punch didn't hit, she detonated the tier, and it still hit Philia. So her jump heavy punch gets a lot longer. And it's still, because the hit stun on it's so long, it's still really, really easy to convert off of. You can do it with light punch if you want to do it fast. You can just throw them down in neutral and dead them when they get close. Usually you want to have at least one tier by you against a character like Philia, so that you always have something to detonate. Doing like a jump-in toss, that's really hard to anti-air, and it's got a ton of priority, and it's got easy conversions, and it's just so good. It floats her a little bit, makes her a little bit less predictable in the air, kind of like a reverse dive kick, I guess. It's really just her best utility. What are some of the other uses for it? It's got a bajillion and one uses. If you use it in the corner, it pulls them out of the corner slightly, so you can do things like the cross-up, and if you didn't do the toss, you can't do the cross-up. It's kind of cool. Basically, this move has limitless uses, and the more uses you have for the move, the better a Parasoul you're going to be. It really is just her best move. Yeah. Let's get into some supers. Sniper. Full screen tracking move. If you hit Parasoul after the super flash, you'll still get sniped. It's got a ton of startup. It does pretty good damage. If they're on the ground, you can actually pick up after it. If they're in the air, though, you don't get to pick up after it. Great. It's her best tool to get in on zoning with like Emmy Grid or something. It's a hard knockdown. If you're not at max undizzy, it's the super you want to be ending combos with. Otherwise, you want to use bikes. The other interesting thing about it, and really the most interesting thing about it, is that your snipe guy, Juju, I'm pretty sure, she waits 60 frames to shoot. If she goes to shoot and they're invulnerable due to a DP or a burst or something, she'll wait another 60 frames before she fires. So that means you can't snipe double out of car, but it means you can do things like this. Sure. Actually, I don't have her set to burst. Did that wrong? Don't look at me. So because she waits 60 frames, She's gonna burst, and then Juju's gonna wait. And then you can keep going. That's a really, really good way to kill characters at low HP. Because if they don't burst, they get hit by the sniper. If they do burst, they get counter hit by the sniper. It's pretty great. It's not something you really just want to throw out, but it is a really, really good tool that she has. Also, like I said before, it is your best tool against zoners. If they're getting predictable with the zoning pattern, do not be afraid to spend meter and snipe them. It's an easy get-in. Yeah, it's pretty safe-ish. Juju's no longer cannon. Oh, that sucks. It's kind of safe-ish at full screen. I mean, the worst you're going to take is, like, a projectile. Unless you're fighting, like, Peacock. Then you might be sad. Is it number 13 now? I don't freaking know. I don't even play with sound half the time. Okay. Next super. Bikes. Bikes is safe, in quotes. If they just block Bikes on its own, it's safe and they can't punish it. However, it hits so many times that they can PBGC and punish you for it. Band has a really easy time. You know, a lot of people do it. It's like Fuko Fireball in that regard. It is the most damage at max Z. It doesn't really have a lot of utility, though. You're going to be using it a lot after Pillar mid-screen, and then hope that you get to pick up after it. Sometimes the game just doesn't want you to, but luckily against Philly, it's pretty consistent. I mean, yeah, that's kind of it for Bikes. It doesn't have a lot going for it, other than being safe-ish. So her level 3 is the super with the most invulnerability frames that she has. It's got a ton of low damage hits, which makes it really, really good at max Z. While you're doing the super, does pretty good damage. If you can eager cancel during the super. Panic reversal Bikes. Yeah, so you can eager cancel out of the super and go for like a conversion or something, and you can do it OTG-less, but yeah. If you do that, she does less damage during the super because Parasoul's not firing her gun. Kind of fun fact. It's really good for punishing, so like, if you're playing full screen against like a big band and a giant steps, you can jump it and then punish it with level 3 for full screen, which is really, really nice. Mostly you're going to see it at the end of combos, but it does have utility in neutral. And that is all of Parasoul's move list. Excuse me while I take a drink of water before we get to the next section. Okay. Oh, yeah, she has a taunt. Keep forgetting about that. Her taunt's really cool, because you taunt, and the next secret, it raises the chance. Serious right now? Is this for real? There we go. If you taunt your next secret, it's going to say, "Excuse me, princess." Cool. Her taunt actually does have a use. It's my favorite use for a taunt in this game. It's that it pulls her hurt box backwards because she steps back and like yawns, right? So you can do this. Oops. That's a burst bait. And then you can pick up a snipe. You can also do it into level 3. It's my favorite burst bait that she has. It's great. I love it so much. Yeah. Next section would be kind of... So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna get into how you build teams with her. Then I'm gonna get into matchups, and then I'm gonna get into some combos and resets. I think that's the best way to do it. Her taunt does not play music, but it's cooler than bands anyway. So when it comes to building a team with Parasoul on it, you kind of want her either point or anchor. She's better point unless you have a ton of experience. Just because the assist helps her so much when it comes to like her DPs. Second Parasoul is kind of meh. She has Snipe, which is a great DHC. But other than that, she doesn't really have any good ones, unless you're spending 3 bars. But what I'm saying is Spikes sucks as a DHC. Yeah. So play her point or anchor, probably. You can get away with second, but it's probably not her best. When it comes to what assist you're going to choose for, it really depends. It's really controversial. You got Pillar and Shot are really the two assists that you have options for. Pillar being a great DP assist, and it's a great mix-up tool too. I'm actually going to pick up Double really quick, just because I've lapped out most vortexes with Double. Sure, whatever. So because Pillar is the way it is, you can do things like this. Got those cross-up Pillar assists. It's really nice. A lot of characters have vortexes like this. It's pretty great. You can run Bike Guy Assist. There's a big band that was a combo breaker that played Bike Guy Assist. It's actually on my friends list too. I've only ever played with them once. It's kind of fun, but it's not good. I played around with Bike Guy Big Band and doing like a giant set conversion. You get more damage just doing brass than you do doing a full combo. Which is funny. But yeah, so Pillar's a great mix-up assist. It's a great DP assist. I still don't think it's her best assist, though. I think her best assist is still Napalm Shot by far. Depending on what you want. If you want to run a DP, or you need a character, or you have a character like Squiggly that really wants a DP, then Pillar is great, and it does everything it needs to do as a DP assist. But Shot gives you so much utility in the fact that it's great pressure, because it hits twice, technically, because it detonates. It gives you a little bit of help with zoning. You can make anything safe with it, really. And the real good part of Shot is the vortexes it gives you. Doing stuff like this. That's a left-right vortex off the tier pop. Left-right air throw, sorry. It's really good. Really depends on what you want out of your team. I usually play with Shot Assist, and I play without a DP Assist. But Pillar is definitely a good assist, too. When it comes to what characters you want with Parasoul, her best partner by far is Double. It's easily Double. Bomber gives Parasoul everything she needs, whether it's any of the Bomber strength. Gives Parasoul exactly what she needs. Usually I run with Light Bomber. Usually most people run with Light Bomber. The DHCs are crazy. The synergy's crazy on both ends. It's easily her best partner. Eliza's also kind of a great partner in the fact that her assists make... All of the skeleton assists make everything Pillar does safe, easily convertible, super plus because they have to block all of Butcher's. Just show that off real quick because it's so good. Super plus, super easy to convert off of, super easy vortex. It's just, it's a great assist. Yeah, it uses meter, but Parasoul doesn't really use meter, so eh. Any character that gives her a low assist is also really, really nice. So, like, one of my favorite teams to run is, like, Parasoul Squiggly with Cremation. And the reason you run this is because Float gives any low assist just so much work, because you can just call low assist and fly above them, and guess. Good luck. She could be on literally either side. It's an actual guessing game. It's really dumb. And it makes her mix-ups a lot scarier, too. That's terrifying. Hey, Missing No. Yeah, so low assist. Robo Fortune also gives her crazy conversions, easy things off Pillar. She's also a great partner. So now, sounds really backwards, but before we get into combos and resets, let's get into matchups. And the reason I'm doing that is because I already have a reset combo guide on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to do that last. But let's just talk through some of the cast. I have it written down in a weird order, so I'm not going to go in order on the page. I'm going to go in order on my notes. I don't remember why I wrote them down in this order. I think it was the order they were listed on the wiki. Okay. I'm going to do it ratio-wise. So, I think Parasoul Philia is a 5-5 in Philia's favor, to be honest. It's really momentum-based more than anything else. If you can keep Philia out using things like tier detonations and crouching medium punch, then it's really easy for Parasoul because Philia doesn't have a lot of options to get in on that spacing. However, if the Philia gets inside crouching medium punch range, you're probably dead. There's a very good chance you're just dead. So it's really... It is momentum-based. If Philia's incoming on you, there's a good chance that you're going to win that. If you're incoming on Philia, cry. And also the fact that because Parasoul can't mash Pillar, if you're going to use Pillar as a reversal, it has to be on a read. And that means that Philia's fast falls and really, really fast, resets in general. Mystical person. Sorry. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, so because her resets are so fast, it's really hard to know when to Pillar without really knowing all the setups and knowing the other person. It comes down to set play at that point. So I'm going to say it's 5-5 because it's also possible that you keep it out. But it is in Philia's favor. Bella, I'm going to say is a straight 5-5. You can play around Reflect. Mostly you want to keep Bella out. You don't want her to get in on you. But it's easily doable. She can't Reflect Bite Guy. You have Detonate to make it really hard for her to Reflect. You have Tear Toss, which she can't Reflect. It's definitely possible. Your Dash is great to Sup Tumble Run. Dash up, grab, or sweep, or whatever. That being said, Bella's got grabs and overheads. And those two things hate Pillar because you just got a down back charge. Bella also doesn't really have any good reversal options in the air. So reset Bella in the air a bunch. Keep her out. Don't let her go when you get the hit. It's 5-5. Now for my favorite matchup, Peacock. 6-4 in Peacock's favor. Possibly 7-3. I don't know. I need to play it more. It feels 6-4, but it could be 7-3. It's definitely her worst matchup by far. It's really hard to get in on the zoning. Your only option at that point is M-Egret, but Peacocks will hold H item so that when you call M-Egret, it goes around the Egret and you don't actually get to get sniped, which really sucks. So really you just have to abuse dash jump and her great dash range and just dash through everything. But that matchup really, really sucks. Also, she can punish M-Bang, which is nice. Not a lot of characters can do that. But yeah, just hit her, reset her in the air. Don't let her go. But getting in is extremely difficult. Parasoul's 5-5 in Parasoul's favor. That's a joke. It is the most fun matchup in the game, really. The zoning is all about who has more momentum because tiers are there, and you have to try to get the momentum somehow, or try to get in. Sometimes you try to bring it back by tossing out M-Egret, but then you have H-Toss that goes around M-Egret, and then you have Detonate. You have to abuse the heck out of her dash. Whoever can use her dash better for spacing usually wins that. Fast falls are great because you want to reset before she's expecting, so she can't Pillar. So doing like an air string into a fast fall low or doing an air string into a tick low are two different things. Actually, I should be saying overhead because she's probably blocking low, but and that's just because that changes the Pillar timing. And if she tries to Pillar a fast fall when you do a tick, she's going to lose charge and she can't Pillar the tick, which is cool. You also get an easy punish on Pike super. It's 100% skill based as all mirrors are, but it is so fun to play. It's super intense, it's slow, but that's what makes it fun. Okay, Misfortune, 6-4 in Fortune's favor. That matchup kind of sucks. She can run under Napalm Shot. She's so fast that tossing isn't really an option. You can't zone Fortune. It's not a thing. You have to space her out, and you have to abuse M-Shot to try to hit her while she's dashing or air dashing. If she gets in on you, it's probably over. She has a bajillion and one reset option. She's got great IAD normals. She's got fast normals. It's not good for you. Your fastest normal 7 frames. She's got a 5-frame jab. You're just sad. But she doesn't really have any good reversal options outside of level 3, and even that's not a very good one. So again, if you hit her, don't let her go. But that matchup will be a struggle. Headless Fortune. I really need more experience. I'm gonna call it a 6-4. I've only ever played against like 2 headlesses. And I got destroyed, mostly because I don't know the matchup. But you can't zone Headless Fortune. The head makes that impossible. You have 2 options. You either need to get in on her, because gosh dang, you can't zone, or you need to abuse the head until she comes to you. Best way to do that is just crouching light kick. It's very possible that matchup's 5-5. I just need more experience in it. Painwheel is a 5-5 in Painwheel's favor. Blocking Painwheel sucks. She has armor to go through your DP shenanigans. She has air armor. She has... You only have 1 normal that goes upwards. So jump medium punch is your only button that really hits Painwheel. Kind of sucks. But you can abuse like tier tosses and stuff to try to get multi-hits. And you have a really, really good air grab. As long as she doesn't outspace your air grab. So like when I fight like Chuck, I just can't grab that man. His spacing is on point. But, you know, other Painwheels. It really comes down to how good everyone is, I guess. I don't know. It's trying to think of words. Yeah, she is light on options when you get a hit, though. Crouching Heavy Punch is unblockable, legitimately. Let's be honest. Okay, Valentine is a 5-5, but it is the weirdest matchup I've ever played. Because it doesn't feel like it, but that matchup is a zoning matchup. If you go in on Valentine, you lose. She has Jump Heavy Kick, which shuts down any of your air options. It's hard to play Patient because she's got so many instant overheads. It's just not a good time. However, if she comes in on you, she loses. Because she can't outspace tier toss shenanigans or pillar, or it's hard to get around that. So this is 100% based on who gets more impatient. If you play Patient and you just keep shooting and sniping if she tries to dead cross, you'll win that matchup. But it is an odd one. Against Double, it's a straight 5-5. Double's reset game is terrifying, but it is low throw left-right. And that makes Parasoul really happy because you can't cross out a pillar input. So it doesn't matter what side she's on. Yeah, she goes even with you in zoning. Luger's pretty great. You can punish Crouching Heavy Punch into Luger shenanigans by super jumping and Jump Heavy Punch. Gets you a heavy counter hit, it's great. It's just such an even matchup. It really comes down to who's better. Squiggly I'm going to break up into 2 sections because Charge Squiggly and Charge Squiggly are 2 different characters. Charge Squiggly is a 6-4 in Parasoul's favor. Squiggly's Jump Light Kick beats out every one of Parasoul's air options, including air grab, which is kind of ridiculous. But if you play a solid ground game and a good trip guard game and all that, you'll be totally fine. And there's not much she can do about you. It's hard for her to get a charge in the first place because of tiers and because of debts. But if she does get a charge, it becomes a 5-5. You have to go in on her. You can't zone her at that point because center stage into SBO is really good. You can try to bet center stage with Crouching Light Kick. Sorry, bait it, but it's risky. Yeah, Jump Heavy Punch. You can either grab it or you can back heavy kick it. That's kind of fun. Really, you just gotta block low, react overhead. As long as you don't let her get a charge, it's an easy matchup. If she does get a charge, it's even. Big Band is 6-4 in Soul's favor. Possibly even 7-3 in Soul's favor. That matchup is really hard for Band. I'd call it more like a 6.5 to Soul. It's not like Double's an easy 7-3. Yeah. It's Parasoul's easiest matchup by far. She is the big man bully. If you ever want to jump into a quick match, and there's just big bans everywhere, which is every day because it's quick match, play Parasoul. She's just... Oh, I love it. Big Man's really, really big. He's got a huge hitbox. You have a bajillion and a half instant overheads. You've got band-specific burst baits. Like, after restand, doing jump back light punch is a burst bait only on band. Actually, all tall characters, but it's really easy on band. You can punish Embrace really easily. You can actually outspace LB extend with tier toss stuff. The best way to kill a big band is to just, every time you reset him, do a hard knockdown burst bait. And just make sure that you're playing super safe and you're just playing to punish whatever he's doing. And it's a really, really easy matchup. Fuqua is a 5-5. The characters kind of play the same in the fact that they kind of zone until they feel like going in. And they just have tools for every situation that you could think of. They're both kind of jack of all trades. Soul doesn't really care about shadows because you can like stand light punch them or something. And not have to worry about them even coming close to you. You can snipe fireballs and shadow startup. However, the fun part, the mind games, where this comes in, if Fuqua was at half screen and you try to snipe her, she can cancel into BFF and punish your snipe. And snipe won't hit her. So if you're going to snipe Fuqua from half screen, or maybe even 3/4 screen, make sure you're doing it when she's in the air. Because she can't BFF then. That matchup comes 100% down to fundamentals. And just who has the better fundamentals. That's a pretty accurate picture missing though. I fight JP's Fuqua. It's pretty much in his favor, but that's just because he's got so much stronger fundamentals than I do. Yeah. Eliza is a 5-5 because holding Eliza pressure sucks. And you're just gonna... You don't want to be blocking Eliza. But her buttons aren't disjointed, really. Which means that you can outspace her hard. So it's very possible that she just never gets a hit and you can just kill her. And it's pretty easy to zone her out as long as you watch Albus. Boat's reactable. Just make sure that you're not shotting Albus. And I call it a 5-5. Beowulf, I'm calling a 6-4. Possibly a 5-5 again. A lot of her matchups are 5-5. It's just kind of comes with the jack of all trades. It's possible that... Yeah, that's possible it's 5-5. The only Beowulf I play against is Rabble, and Rabble's really, really, really good. So I might just be playing it wrong, or he might just be playing it really well. But it's hard to zone him when he has meter, because you might just eat a combo through arm. Well, a combo. You might just eat an arm, and then you're under corner pressure. It's really hard to hold his pressure, because he's got really fast overheads, and it gets so much off of his grabs. You just abuse the heck out of land cancels and reset him in the air. And it's not too bad. But when Beowulf gets his game started, it's pretty bad. Robo? I'd call... It's tough. It's either a 5-5 or like a 5.5 in Robo's favor. And it really depends on the kind of Robo you're fighting. If you're fighting like a meh Robo that's just kind of shooting beams, it's really, really, really easy to kill her. You just snipe punish the beams, you get in, you don't let her out. She doesn't have any reversal or anything. As soon as you're in, it's over for her. If she tries to jump at you with jump medium punch, you have like a bajillion and a half anti-airs. However, good Robos, it's really in Robo's favor, because you can't snipe her. It's really easy to bait out. Emigret doesn't help you, because it just gives her heads for free. She doesn't have to shoot beams. You have to hold missiles. You can't do anything about missiles. It's really, really hard to catch her. However, good Robos really, really like jump heavy kick, and that's very snipeable. So it just comes down to, if you can land the snipe on a jump heavy kick, you'll do fine. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rough time. It's, you know, that's a thing. Okay. Whew. There's matchups. Let's get into some combos and some resets. We are assuming they're in for good players, but it's so rare that you fight a really good Robo that I felt like it was worth bringing up kind of the standard Robo versus the good Robo. Okay, let's get into some combo reset theory. I'm gonna turn off hitboxes for this. Okay. So her mid-screen combos, Well, before I do any of this, let's talk about charge buffering really quick. When you're doing a move, you can, if you watch my stick on the right, you can see that I'm instantly holding back right after I do the move, which lets me do the shots really, really fast. And that also lets you do things like when you're doing a mid-screen combo, I can do like forward heavy punch into pillar because I can buffer the charge really, really early on. That's really important for a lot of Parasoul combos. It's something I thought worth bringing up. Definitely, there's videos out there that explain it in more detail than I just did. I'm pretty sure Liam has a really... It's either Liam or Ken in Black. I don't remember. One of them has a really good video explaining it. So, when it comes to Parasoul, use jump medium kick on a tier to fly away from the mortal plane. You're right. So yeah, Parasoul's kind of got 3 different starters, and 4 different starters, and they all depend on the range that you're at when you start. When you're up close, you combo into crouch heavy punch, and you do a combo like normal. There's also a range where crouch heavy punch is gonna whiff. Sorry. It's gonna be weird to find these ranges on accident. So you can see here, like, crouch heavy punch isn't gonna hit from there. Forward heavy punch, shot pillar. It's not too bad once you start, like, you put it in. I came from NRS games, so it makes a lot of sense to me, just because it plays like that. But you dial it in really early, so you have a ton of time to charge. You can kind of watch my stick while I'm doing it. It's hard to, you can't do it raw, but I mean, I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, there are times where like that's gonna whiff, so instead you have to do, shoot. Gosh, you're gonna have to forgive me while I try to figure out spacing stuff. But there are times where that's not gonna work. So instead, you can go for this conversion. I can't believe I dropped that. And as you see there's sometimes where that works too. We'll get there in a second. So yeah, instead you're gonna use that conversion. There are times like here where back heavy kick's gonna whiff. In that case, you can just do the eager call early. And then there's some times where even that whiffs. And then you can combo into snipe, and then pick up from there. Yes, this will be on my YouTube channel. We've been up for about an hour and 30 minutes, probably. Yeah, so that's kind of her 4 different combo starters. When you're doing just the normal crouch heavy punch confirm, her most optimal combo that I've been able to find is this. I'm doing M tier to end. I should be doing M tier into super. I'll just go for max damage, screw it. Does about 7.1. It's kind of tricky. A lot of Parasoul combos are a launch into either a restand or into a air string that ends with medium punch into another air string. So like, that's one of her air combos where you end with medium punch into another jump. You can also do it this way, except that it restands when you're not bad. Or you can do something like this and just get the restand that way. That starter is kind of tricky. You can just dial in the heavy punch, but it won't det, so you have to delay it slightly. Sometimes, also, you should be using ear call instead of toss there because that'll happen. But yeah, you can watch the VOD, or if you want inputs, you can ask and I'll give you inputs. But that's kind of the most optimal one I found there. Otherwise, it's just something like this. I missed the back heavy kick, so it's not optimal in Dizzy, but whatever. She doesn't do all that much damage, really. Yeah, so off of any combo, there are a few different reset options she has. She has the light punch, light kick, medium punch is kind of her universal vortex. And it's kind of the day 1 vortex for Parasoul. The option she has here is grab and burst bait, which is really nice because it's really easy to catch people. Hey, Kalexi. It's really easy to catch people mashing if they're mashing grab. Even if you don't have an air super, that burst bait might work. I'm losing my voice very fast. So that's really good. Also, you can get a left right off of it. If you use light punch, they can't mash anything on the ground because you catch them in the air. Otherwise, you can do a 50-50 if you don't think they're going to mash. You can also do the same thing with this setup. Same thing, left, right, first bait. You can also time it to air grab, but I don't have it consistent yet. You also have like air strings like this. That's a burst bait. Also, if they don't burst, I'm just going to use... Assume they don't burst. I'm going to use like a... You get a left, right. You also get an air throw. That's one of my favorite vortexes. I love that so much. Doesn't work on heavy characters, the burst bait part. What else does she have? Off of any jump medium kick, you can cross up. If you're good. If you're good. Whatever, good enough. See what I'm talking about. That's pretty good. Yeah, okay, so that's probably good to talk about. The timing for that vortex is different for every person. It's kind of just something you learn. Some people do like this. Do those too fast and then do the third one. I'm not doing it, but there we go. Sometimes you can just do it 3 times, dial it in. I delay all 3 hits so that they're kind of lower to the ground. Yeah, her timing is so strange. You can't just dial in buttons. But God, I love it. Comes are based off your monitor. Everyone has their own timing for that. If you just dial in all 3 hits, you're not going to get the restand. It's not going to combo. So there is a very specific delay that you need. It didn't restand, but whatever. I'll do the bike guy thing, don't you worry. Where was I before that? Oh, yeah, jump medium kick cross up. You can also go same side with it. Okay, that crossed up. I have never done that before. That was cool, though. Go same side with it. Didn't actually reset, but whatever. You can also do, like, quick lights into a throw. This is the vortex that gives her the most options. However, it is mashable, and it is double jumpable. And I think it's air dashable, too. So, against people that know the vortex and know how to stop it, it's really not that hard to get out of. Yeah, fun fact. Egrets, there's a chance only in the Japanese voice pack that one of them is female. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so this vortex I actually kind of like a little bit better. It's harder to mash out of. There's closer to the ground. It's still double jumpable, but you can kind of catch it if they're double jumping a lot just by doing that. Or grabbing, or whatever. Hello! What other mid-screen options do you have that's fun? Off of any tier debt, you get a lot of fun options off of tier debts in the air. What are some of the fun ones? This is probably a better way to do it. Shoot. You get a burst bait off of that. You get... Shoot, I'm dumb. I forgot that doesn't work on that one. You get cross unders. It's really hard to mash out of that because the hit stun on that is super long. You can even do stuff like this. I did this on Ron's stream yesterday. You get double cross unders. The tier debt, really, really, really good. Serious question, yes. What other mid-screen vortexes do I use normally? You get the simple ones like off of any light, you get a low overhead. So that's low. That's overhead. Is Skullgirls anime? I don't know, probably. It plays like an anime fighter. Hey, Kalexi, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Other things. Smashy! If you detonate a tier with the back heavy kick thing, you get a lot of fun vortexes. That's the dumbest burst bait in the game. A lot of people try to match tech, and you can't tech that, you just get burst baited. Also fun, you get a restand off of this. And also, the thing that I've been hitting people a lot mostly, since we're talking about this. Fast falls! Oh, I love fast falls. Yeah, fast falls are my favorite thing that she can do. Every fast fall is mashable, but they're always so unexpected that it's really hard to do, if you do it right. Really quick grabs, really quick just... Her 2 fast falls are Spiral Flare and Stomp. So if you do something like this, that's kind of fun. Me and Smashy have a bond. Okay, bye, Kalexi. Thanks for stopping by. Tier toss reset. You mean like the corner one? I'll show it off when I get to the corner stuff. But yeah, anything into a fastfall is... It's just so good. Yeah, that's kind of it for a mid-screen game. For those in the chat that don't know what fastfall is, explain it. Shoot, you're right. So fastfall is doing a move that allows you to land, cancel your recovery frames. You'll have to catch me. I've never actually explained fastfall to someone before, so you'll have to catch me from saying something dumb. Sorry, my brain is confused. Basically, like, if instead of doing a jump heavy punch here to restand, instead I'm intentionally whiffing a move so that I land before you and do a really, really fast reset. Pretty much what I do. Same thing with the Stomp, it whiffs, so I get to go do something else. You can also do things like this. Shoot. What are some of the dirty ones? This one's kind of dirty. That's a quick overhead. You can make a combo. Liam abused the heck out of that one. That's about it for mid-screen resets. That's kind of the basics of a mid-screen reset. Again, for anyone watching on my YouTube channel after the stream, or if you're watching right now and you want to see some more, I have a whole like 10-minute video dedicated to combos and resets. For the corner, I have kind of 2 corner routes that I use personally. One of them being this one, which looks really cool. It really doesn't do any damage, but it has a bajillion and a half reset points. Right there's a great reset point. Anytime you finish a string, you get some kind of reset, whether it be a burst bait or an overhead low or whatever. It's really, really hard to get out of because there's so many parts which you can reset. The other route is her damage route. If I can actually do it on Philly, yeah. Dropping it. Philly's got a weird optimal because you don't want the restand. I keep getting the restand. Or at least Lightsu, not Philly specifically. There we go. She can get damage if she wants it. Shu King, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll do the bike guy. Who is Karu? Explain. Oh, this is a fun story. That was my name when I played TF2 competitively, but I never stuck with a name for more than a month. So I've changed it like 8 times since then. But my YouTube channel stayed the same because I had subscribers. And I'm surprised I've stuck with Penumbra this long, to be honest. But, so yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, other resets. That's her kind of optimal. Pillar into sweep into stuff is kind of the basis of her optimal game. She's got the same kind of resets. Again, you kind of just want to be... The way I do it is I burst bait until they don't push buttons, and then you go for the gimmicks. That's kind of like the basis of the Parasoul game. Yeah, I'll show you the bike I cross up. Yes, I do play Overwatch. We were going to go competitive. I play support in that game. Even though I played Roamer in TF2. Other corner... Yeah, I mean, the way I play this is just burst bait everything. She's got a few really cool corner-specific things. For example, this. That's all burstable. That's all a bait. I do know some big man. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll answer them after we're done with the Parasoul stuff. I made Mercy mostly. Yeah, that's all a bait, and it's ridiculous. The first hit will get you hit. Other than that, it's all a bait. There's also some fun things you can do, like this. Now it's a low reset. Shoot. There's some dumb burst baits that makes the end of hatch for a set time longer bait. Yeah, so if the burst goes on for too long, it'll be a gold burst. But even gold bursts are fine. It's a free setup. What are the matchups like for Parasoul versus the cast? I apologize, Clawmaster, but I've already gone over it. Feel free to look back at the VOD. I don't know the timestamp. But I did take like 30-ish minutes to go over every character. My main team is Parasoul Eliza. Sometimes a double. I have Parasoul plus assist. That's kind of my main team. Did you already go over command normal highs? I did early on. If you don't, how do you deal with those resets? The way to deal with the resets is they're mashable. Both of our overheads are mashable. And reactable, but they're hard. Okay, other fun stuff she has in the corner. This is the one that Swaga's been asking for. That's my favorite reset that she has. That only works on Philia, Fukua, Fortune. No, not Fortune. Philia, Fukua, Squiggly, Peacock. I think that's it. Yeah, it's a thing. Also, you can do this. And then you go into her best corner combo. This is the most fun corner combo that she has. I love it so much. Shoutouts to Guilt Glit. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but shoutouts to that guy for coming up with that. But yeah, anything in the corner, anything ending with back heavy kick. You can also do things like this. If you do a tier toss, pulls them out of the corner, so you can do like a cross up. That catches everybody, literally everybody. That's really nice. If you end a combo, so this is what I was talking about earlier. If you end a combo with heavy kick into tier toss, you get them out of the corner enough for left rates. If you already have a tier set up, that won't work. It'll just combo. So that's a situation where you use medium punch to pull them out, if you were good, but you know. That's kind of the basis of her reset game. Again, I didn't go too much in depth with combos or resets, but I do have another video on my YouTube channel that goes over that pretty much in depth. And I think that's it. Also, things I also want to say for anyone watching and for the YouTube channel. I help run a stream, Skullgirls Get Great, every Saturday, 4 p.m. EST. We match people up with other people, give you advice, tips. It's great. If you want to bring your Parasoul, hit me up. I'll give you as much advice as I can. Bring any other character. Between all the hosts, we play every character. It's a great place to get better. Other things I want to shout out is Be Great every Wednesday, which is a tournament where you can fight. Ron's coming back, and I assume that his tournaments are coming back soon. Freaking do that. Clawmaster's tourneys start up again soon. That's exciting. Go sign up for those. I think that's about it. Just Get Great, have Pain Wheel. You play Pain Wheel, don't lie to me. Also AC fan. Stream's not ending, guide's just ending. I think I'm gonna play some quick match. Okay, I think that's it for Parasoul Guide. Remember to smash that like button. I'm not doing this joke. Let me write down a timestamp for when this is ending. Okay, that was an hour and 46 minutes of a Parasoul Guide. Oh my god. I'm not gonna have a voice tomorrow, but it's all worth it.